The movie begins with a beekeeper named Adam Clay, who is removing a hornet's nest from a barn. Afterward, he steps outside and meets the owner, Eloise Parker, who thanks him for removing the nest and invites him to dinner that night. Adam rents a small space on her farmhouse property. He takes the hornets away and kills them. He then starts extracting honey from the hive. Meanwhile, Eloise Parker is working on her laptop when a virus message suddenly appears. She becomes quite alarmed and calls the number displayed on the screen. On the other end, a man named Barnett answers the call, who is the boss of a scam company called United Data Group. He tells Mrs. Parker that the problem is due to her outdated software, which could result in all her data being deleted. To prevent this, he instructs her to install a software program that ultimately gives him access to all her account details. As an apology for the inconvenience, Barnett claims he will refund her $500, but intentionally transfers $50,000 instead. He then tells her that he accidentally transferred too much money and asks her to return the excess amount. When she enters the password to do so, $2 million from the children's charity account, she disappears in an instant. Realizing she has been scammed, she becomes heartbroken and shoots herself. When Adam arrives at Eloise Parker's house that night, he finds her dead body. At that moment, Mrs. Parker's daughter, Verona, who is an FBI agent, arrives as well. She initially suspects Adam of being the killer and has him arrested. However, during the investigation, she discovers that her mother had been scammed, leading to her suicide. After this revelation, Adam is released. Verona approaches Adam, apologizes to him, and explains that Mrs. Parker considered him like a son because her own son had died in the line of duty, which is why she took such good care of Adam. Determined to avenge Mrs. Parker, Adam decides to teach the scammers a lesson. He retrieves a hidden cell phone from his hive and contacts a former member to get information about the scam company. This reveals that Adam Clay worked for a secret agency called Beekeeper. Armed with 2 cans of gasoline, he heads to their building. Once inside, Adam tells the employees to quit their jobs. When they laugh at him, he severely beats one of them and starts pouring gasoline on the computers and desks. Barnett arrives with some men and tries to stop him, but fails. Adam sets up a bomb, which explodes and destroys a large part of the building. Barnett calls his boss, Derek, who is CEO of the Danforth Company, and informs him of the situation. Derek orders Barnett to kill Adam. Barnett and his men track Adam down to Eloise Parker's house, where they shoot and destroy his beehives. They then head to the barn to find and kill him. Adam easily takes down all of Barnett's men and cuts off Barnett's fingers. Barnett runs away outside and starts telling Derek everything that happened. At that moment, the beekeeper arrives. Adam pulls Barnett out of the car, he ties him with the chain attached to the car, and throws him off the bridge. He then talks to Derek, telling him that he will find and kill him. Meanwhile, Verona, along with her colleague Agent Wiley, goes to the United Data Group company for an investigation. They discover that all the employees were involved in financial fraud. At the same time, Verona receives a call informing her that her farmhouse is on fire. She rushes back to the farmhouse where she finds dead bodies. Upon investigation, it becomes clear that Adam is behind the killings. On the other side, Wallace, a former CIA director and now the head of Danforth Company, informs Derek about the Beekeeper organization. He then promises Derek's mother, Jessica, who is now the President of the United States, that he will protect Derek. Wallace calls his colleague Janet, who is now the CIA director, and asks her to find information on Adam. Meanwhile, Verona and her colleague discover Barnett's dead body. Janet informs Wallace that Adam is now retired. Following this, Wallace gives an active beekeeper a contract to kill Adam. Meanwhile, Adam is filling petrol in his car at a petrol pump when Anisette Landris, an active beekeeper, attacks him and tries to kill him. However, she fails, and Adam kills her and takes one of her fingers with him. Janet informs Wallace of the incident and tells him she can no longer help him. The next day, Verona and her colleague arrive at the gas station, where they learn that Adam is headed towards Boston. They decide to follow him. Meanwhile, Wallace gives another contract to his friend Mr. Pettis and his team to kill Adam. Adam uses the finger of the dead beekeeper to unlock the door to a secret base. Inside, he retrieves details about Derek's company and checks the location of his next target, 9 Star Enterprise. He then heads to that location. Meanwhile, Verona meets with FBI Deputy Director Jackson Prigg and informs him about Adam's plan. which she discovered through her investigation. She requests a SWAT team, and he agrees. The SWAT team arrives at the 9-star Enterprise location, where they encounter Pettis's team, who are already there. After some time, Adam arrives and confronts the SWAT team, whom he overpowers to enter the building. Inside, Adam encounters Pettis's team and eliminates them as well. He captures the boss of 9-star Enterprise, who reveals that the owner of these companies is President's son, Derek. By then, Verona had also entered the building with her team to capture Adam. She demands that Adam surrender, but he manages to escape. Verona discovers a computer with information confirming Derek's involvement. Wallace, upon learning that Pettis's team has been killed, advises Derek to call his mother and request permission to go to her beach house for protection. Derek complies, and his mother instructs him to come to the beach house. Meanwhile, Verona informs the deputy director about Derek's involvement in illegal activities and that he is the president's son. She explains that Adam's next target is likely the president, as she won the election with Derek's financial support. Meanwhile, Wallace and Derek arrive at the beach house, which is under heavy security. Wallace hires another man to kill Adam, a man who had previously killed a beekeeper and lost a leg in the process. Adam arrives hidden under a truck, and when a security guard checks the truck, Adam kills him, ties him up, and enters the beach house disguised in the guard's uniform. At the same time, the deputy director also arrives and informs the president about Derek's illegal activities. The president is shocked and says that Derek never told her about any of this. Meanwhile, Verona spots Adam and alerts the entire team. They cornered Adam on the ground. As the hired killer moves to kill Adam, Adam disarms him and shoots him with his own gun. Meanwhile, Jessica tells Derek that he didn't need to resort to such measures, to which Derek replies that he gathered the money for her election campaign. Adam rapidly makes his way toward Derek's room, killing anyone in his path. The killer, who had previously murdered a beekeeper, confronts Adam again, but this time, Adam kills him. When Adam enters the room, Derek, under pressure, shoots the deputy director and takes his mother hostage. He threatens to kill the president if Adam doesn't back off. Verona tries to stop Adam, who then asks her what is more important to her, the law or justice. Adam then shoots Derek and breaks through a window to escape. Verona aims her gun at Adam and calls out to him. Adam looks back at her, but Verona doesn't shoot and lets him go. Adam puts on his scuba suit and dives into the ocean. The movie ends as he swims away, disappearing into the depths.